All right, we're here for some ink mixing today. We have, let's see what this is, Diamine Celadon Cat. And this Call of Cthulhu ink. I have this little tray that I slapped together out of some walnut and oak. It is not fancy, but it is effective. I built it to hold these little ink vial things that I got from Jet Pens. These hold about 5 milliliters, at least up to the top graduation. With the little conical feature in the bottom. Whatever, I don't care. Let's have some fun. Little blunt syringe. Who's it? I don't know where these came from. I'm guessing probably some major online something or other. We're going to start with the cat ink. I bought this ink on a whim after someone had strongly suggested that I get it. I feel the ink is too light. So let's see what we can do about that. Little plunger, plunge that up. Shoot that right in. I'm going to aim for about a milliliter. I'm not even close. I'll do it again. A hair more. Obviously, this is not an exact science. This is not a laboratory setting. Let's cap this ink. And I have a second one of these. So I don't contaminate the Call of Cthulhu ink with the Celadon Cat ink. I will later clean these with some tap water, because that's how we do things. Let's see if I can get the drop falling on camera. Doop. No, not even going to try. Well, maybe I'll zoom in. Doop. Oh, that was more than a drop. So let's mix this up. See what that little bit does. Shaken, not stirred. I have this terrible dip pen, and what I mean by terrible is that it is perfectly fine. It does everything it's supposed to do. It's just not fancy or dramatic. This has one of those fewed nibs. Am I showing that? Let's zoom in more. Look at that. Oh no, it's bent. That's how it's supposed to be, though. A little heart in the nib means we love it. I'm not there yet, but whatever. All right, let's have some fun. How are we going to do this? I did not plan properly. But, you know, this is a random YouTube video. Planning is optional. Let's do some writing. Oh, it's definitely a much darker shade from the normal Celadon Cat. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a sample of that using some other pen, because I only have the one dip pen. What do we have that's available? Here we go. What's this? I think this is a Jinhao 75. Let me check. This is a Jinhao 75. It should have a fine or an extra fine nib. Let's look. What does that say? That says F. F? You tell me. That's too small for my eyes, even with glasses. Yep, that's an F. Give me the F. Dip. Okay, so not that different yet. Let's see what we can do to really mess this up. We have some more Call of Cthulhu ink. With my arthritic hands, I don't know. The hell with it. Squirt. Let's mix this back up. Even mixing longer. Not that I think it matters. Such a small amount. We will clean my, dip pen in my little jug of water. And dry it off. We're high tech here. It's a quicker picker-upper, right? So should be able to handle this. And let's dip it again. Dippity-doo-dah. Oh, here's two. Oh, that's definitely much darker and richer. Let's take a closer look at that. Let's mess with the exposure, hoping that that actually does something. Look at the shading there. Does it show up on camera? Whatever. All right, so I've taken a moment to do some swabbing. And I'll use an entirely different ink for this. So, this is the first one. This is our Diamine. That's an architect nib. I don't want to write with that. Hold on. Celadon Cat. This is Diamine Aurora Borealis. Isn't that mentioned in a Neil Young song? And then this 3 is our sample ink. And I think I'm overexposed here. Let's do something about that. Where's the sweet spot? There we go. That's sweet enough. So, let's keep messing with it. What can we toss in here to really have a good Franken ink? How about some Sailor Afternoon Tea? It's really overexposed. All right. All right, sure, let's do it. Great. Let's get another one of these weird syringe things going here. This is how they come packaged. It's a Ziploc, but you just rip the top right off. You see this little, whatever you want to call it, coupler, adapter, whatever. Squeeze. It's way more force than is needed. All right. Let's get some afternoon tea up in here. So, not a lot, just a little. I'm going to squirt it all in. And I should warn you, I know absolutely nothing about color theory. I am not an art person. I am not in any way educated or informed about any of this. I am basically making a mess and dragging you along for the ride. Because, for whatever reason, that is fun for me. Actually, I don't know. Let's swab it. Swabbing sounds good. Is this any different? Not really. Needs more tea. Is the right one? That's the right one. I'm going to suck up some more and drop it in. And cap it. Shake vigorously. And let's swab it with the other end of this. It's definitely altering it in an interesting way. Especially as it dries. Let's zoom you in. And let's try to do some whoa. So, sample number 2, you can see some interesting stuff happening there. And that's with a drop of afternoon tea. It's a very slight bronze tone there. Maybe copper tone, I don't know. You can see it right in here. Right in here. Very slightly. But I think it's a bit too green. You know what that means, right? That means more cat. How much more cat? I don't know. A couple of drops. Let's do a little more than that. Hopefully what we wind up with is the cat's meow. I'm going to swab this again. And yes. So my problem between this sample and the Aurora Borealis is that aside from the sheen that's available, that's present here, it's too close. And I do like this grayish hue from the Celadon Cat. But here this almost seems a little too dark, and maybe that's a me problem. See how close that is to the Celadon Cat? Looks like I've gone full circle. Which means, let's mess with it some more. I'm going to add a drop of this Cthulhu ink back in. Doop, doop. Okay, 2 drops, whatever. Is that even going to be enough to influence the shading on this now that I'm at about a milliliter and a half of ink? I don't know. Let's add a third. Let's shake this up really good and see where we at. I'm sure at this point any actual influence of the afternoon tea is probably washed out. Washed out? I feel like that's a loaded term when speaking of colors. Let's see where that gets us. Very similar. I'm not sure it really did much of anything here. I mean, back here it just looks like a slightly darker Celadon Cat. But as it's drying, I'm seeing some of the sheen that is here that is not present in the same degree here, which I think I kind of like. You see how much darker it's going? Needs more Cthulhu. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see where that gets us. We should be closing in on 2 milliliters, which is my target volume. Let's see. Are we there yet? Nope. About 1 3/4 milliliter. I'm dealing with very small volumes here, obviously. Obvs. And let's get that down and in there. And we'll get my little block of wood out of the way, and let's get right back to swabbing. Ooh, yeah. That's definitely richer. Oh, that's quite nice. You can see this is obviously a successful effort given how much ink is on my hand. All right, let's clean up some of this wretched mess. We'll put my afternoon tea away. Yes, I will clean my bottle openings, whatever you want to call it, off camera. My Call of Cthulhu. I think this was a Gold Spot pen exclusive. I don't know how to pronounce the name, Wearingeul. They have a literary series of inks This one spoke to me in part because I really enjoy H.P. Lovecraft's horror fiction. Whatever. And let's turn the page. Let's see where we're really at with this. For the record, I am using garbage paper. I use my fountain pens with garbage paper pretty much exclusively. My use for these pens is primarily utilitarian. It brings a little joy to my otherwise busy, hectic, miserable, whatever day. My Sailor Horatio, I'll call it, because I don't remember what the name of the pen actually is. Horaco, Horcrux, Hakoro, Halcyon, Hyrule, I don't know. Let's see where we are. Franken ink. Wow, that's a lot darker than... Nope, that's about right. What can we call this? We can call this the call of the afternoon tea. No, afternoon cat. Put cat in it, the internet will love it. I promise that's how it works. Let's see if we can get in there and see. I really need better lighting, don't I? See some of that shading. I don't know if that's really turning out on camera. Ooh, but if you mess with the exposure, it becomes a little bit more evident. And let's go back to here. That is way too overexposed. Come on, camera, do your thing. All right. Nope. Okay, we'll fix this. I'll fix you. There we go. All right. The quick brown fox jumps over your mama. I am a successful business person. Oops, believe it or not. I don't care. You are entitled to believe whatever you want. Beautiful sunset. It's gorge. Pizza party. Toast. Dip, dip. I just crammed that in there. That's what she said. Tidal motion. Well, it's pleasant enough. Maybe a tad too much Cthulhu. Yeah, let's fuck with it some more. I mean, let's mess with it some more. Needs a bit more cat. Drop, 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 drop. And clean that off. Yep, the heart's still there. It still loves this. That means Sailor fully endorses this, right? Yep, that's a hair lighter. That is downright pleasant, actually. That's what really matters, that your ink is pleasant. All right, we'll call this the call of the afternoon cat. Better lighting, better lighting. Ooh. Whatever. Anyway. Oops. That's my mess. I got a bunch of these vials, which means I will probably use them at some point, maybe. Oh boy, the places we're going to go. Wasting ink. Yep. All right.